G'day, Dr. Carl here, and let me introduce you to something related to sound, something called misophonia, where even innocent breathing can trigger extreme reactions in another person.
I get asked this question loads, and the answer is because it's really cut my heating bills. Here's why. My house was built before the First World War, so before 1919, which means it's traditionally built. Therefore, the walls are solid brick walls with no cavity. Now, the way these homes were designed and built was so when it rains, the bricks get wet. When the rain stops and the sun comes out, that rain then evaporates and the bricks dry out. Now, what's happened to this house, which is causing the problems, previous owners have painted the bricks with a waterproof plastic paint. Now, on the face of it, you'd think that's a good idea. The reality is that plastic paint eventually develops hairline cracks, and behind those cracks is where water finds itself. Because of the paint, it can't evaporate, and the wall gets ever increasingly wet. So here's
Convex lenses, ones that are thicker in the center, like these two, focus light down to a point, while lenses that are concave or thinner in the center, like this one, spread light out. And these different kinds of lenses are combined in all kinds of things like telescopes, which maybe focus light down and then have a different kind of lens make those lines parallel again.
You're insecure, don't know what for. You're turning heads when you walk through the
Why can oil rigs stand in the sea? The key actually lies in these fixed piles that go deep into the seabed. It firmly fixes the platform to the seabed through a framework of steel pipes. However, this type of fixing is only suitable for areas with shallow water depths. If you want to build in the deep sea, you have to use a semi-submersible drilling rig. It has its own pontoons to keep the platform.
According to Wikipedia, the Eiffel Tower is a wrought iron lattice tower on the Champ de Mars in Paris.
How my Italian aunt dices an onion without a chopping board.
Come i cinesi faccio. Sì.
Bum 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 ba ba da ba da ba 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 da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba ba da ba da ba da ba da bum ba da bum ba da bum 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 ba da ba da ba ba da ba ba da ba da ba da bum bum ba da ba da ba da ba ba da ba ba da ba da bum ba dum ba da ba da ba dum bum ba dum bum ba dum bum ba dum ba dum ba dum.
If you fall in the water and you can't swim, here's how you're going to survive. Keep everything in the water except nose and mouth. And you're going to float like a champ. Everything else is in the water. I'm going to even let myself sink right now, my body. Now take a big breath. If you notice, I'm keeping more air in my lungs than out of my lungs. And I can wait for a long time while I'm waiting for some help. That's your lesson in less than 60 seconds.
The rest of the team, so watch for the colour change. As the red and the blue come on, red one bends the formation around to the right, even making it even more difficult for red 7 and 8 to keep that great roll and rhythm going.
Me miro y la miré, sonrío y le sonreí, y yo la invité a bailar, y ella me dijo que sí.
With Robert De Niro, the first thing I'm going to see is a head tilt.
This is a whole note, and the more I do to it, the smaller it gets. When I put a stem, this is a whole note, and the more I do to it, the smaller it gets. This is a whole note, and the more I do to it, the smaller it gets. When I put a stem on it, it's now a half note. It's gotten smaller. If I color it in the circular part, now it's a quarter note. And it's getting smaller. Again, put a flag on it. Now it's an eighth note. Another flag, 16th note. You can go on from there. Another flag would be a 32nd note. It keeps getting cut in half. Now when I put that note on the staff, I can control how high or how low the note is. Here we have 5 notes that are line notes. The line goes through the circle. And we use Every Good Boy Does Fine to learn these. So the first one is E, G, B, D, 16th note. You can go on from there. Another flag would be a 32nd note. It keeps getting cut in half. Now when I put that note on the staff, I can control how high or how low the note is. Here we have 5 notes. The staff, I can control how high or how low the note is. Here we have 5 notes that are line notes. The line goes through the circle. And we use Every Good Boy Does Fine to learn these. So the first one is E, G, B, D, F. It's the first letter of each word. Every good boy does fine. These are the 5 line notes on the treble clef staff. If the notes are between the lines, they're called space notes. The spaces between the lines. And for space notes, we use face. F-A-C-E. From bottom to top. Face rhymes with space. Every good boy does fine rhymes with line. Works pretty well. Left or right does not matter. This is an E. This is also an E. It's all about how high or how low it is. So what is this? Well, the line goes through it. It's a line note. So we're going to think every good boy. That is a B. What is this? It's in between the lines and the space. So we're going to think space, face. F-A-C-E.
Are you trying to use stainless steel more often because it's non-toxic, but you get annoyed because it sticks to your pan? Well, you're in the right video. Let me show you how to do it. Turn your stove on and put it from medium to high, just that fraction in between, and place your stainless steel pan on top and just leave it for 5 minutes. Be patient. This is the most important part. After the time's up, just sprinkle some water on it to test if it's ready. And you don't want the water to evaporate straight away. You want it to be like these little bubbles. That means that it's ready. Pour roughly 2 tablespoons of oil of your choice and allow it to disperse throughout the pan and let it sit there for about 20 seconds. It needs to seep into the little pores. Today we're going to crack an egg because apparently it's one of the hardest things to do in a stainless steel pan, but let me show you that this works. You can do the same method with salmon, meat, everything. Just as long as the pan is a perfect temperature, then it won't be sticky.
Bricks are stacked in an alternating pattern because the mortar between the bricks is much weaker, and because potential cracks will have to make a detour and break more of the weak mortar or break less of the strong stone.
This is called a hydrolamp, and it uses a cool light effect to make it look like water's traveling upwards. The bright light flickers to create the effect. Basically the water is falling down, but the light turns off and then back on just in time, for you to see the next droplets just barely above where the last one was.
Hey Harrison.
What's up?
How would you translate I like you into legalese?
I hereby express my positive regard for your person, marked by emotions of fondness and or esteem.
Amazing.
Food. I just couldn't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, you know, I went to the fridge and I opened up the meat drawer. You know what the meat drawer is, right?
Yeah. What was in there?
Well, I'll tell you what was in there. You know that bacon that's like maple? It's got maple flavor.
The maple kind, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I took that out and I thought,
Yeah.
I know who would like that. Me. So I ate it.
Oh, no. You're kidding me.
Nope. Not kidding. You know, I also noticed there was some beef in there. Yeah, you know, steak, you know, juicy. Well, I ate that too. But I went back to the fridge just a few minutes ago and I put something together really special. You're gonna love this one. I took some chicken.
Yeah.
I put some cheese on it. And I covered it with...
Covered it with what?
I covered it with cat treats.
Yeah.
Then guess what?
What?
I gave it to the cat.
That was made with sound. The sound of AC/DC, to be exact. This guy, Minerals Rock, he cools bismuth to music, and the patterns in the frequency cool the crystal into these crazy shapes. Bismuth has a really low melting point, so when it cools,
They invented a soil, and that soil has a name. It's called terra preta. It's a man-made soil. It's thousands of years old, and you can take a handful of 8,000-year-old terra preta and you can add it to barren soil, and that soil will instantly become fertile.